To begin a brand new page, you would usually go to new landing page. But once you've already created a page, then you can just duplicate it. So you can click duplicate, and that'll make it so you don't have to start the same page over and over. So creating your very first page, you're going to be using new landing page. But whenever you want to create subsequent pages, you'll just create duplicate here. And this way, the header and footer that you created that first time will already be on the second page. You won't need to recreate it every time starting from scratch with a brand new page. So that's the magic of the duplicate button. So we're going to come up here and start with a brand new landing page, like it's your very first page. And here we are. Just start from scratch. It automatically brings you here, or it could bring you back here, either way. So the first thing I'd like to do is name the page or change the URL. So roll over to these three dots here, click Edit Details. This is where optionally you can make the page a different name, because when you do go to preview it, this little blank page is going to show up in here. Like this one has the loom symbol and then has like a description. So the description you put here is going to show up here. So you don't want it to say things like sales page or opt-in page, things like that. You want it to be something that people are going to see and recognize in the browser. And this is where you can change the URL. And if you have more than one word, you want a hyphen between them. And from here, you choose draft or published. If you're still working on the page, keep it in draft. If you're ready to make it available to the world, you can move it to published. Down here, you can add little SEO information. If you don't add anything here, then Google will just pull from the page itself. But this way you can control the narrative by adding your title and description here. And then optionally, you can have it show up in search results or not. Pages that you don't want to show up in search results are probably, legal policies like a privacy policy or terms and conditions. You also don't want any thank you pages showing up in search results. For example, if I purchase something from you and then you have me land on a page that says, thank you for your purchase, here are next steps. I don't want that to be in search engine, so I would turn this off. Be as simple as toggle on and off like that. And then we'll click save to record any changes that we've made. But actually, I don't think we've made any. To go back, you'll just click landing page up there and you're back here again. Three kinds of pages: website, landing, and funnels. I'm just going to talk about website and landing pages in this program. I'm not going to address funnels, because funnels are really just a series of pages connected to each other and automated emails. And what Kajabi does is collect them all in one place and call the funnel and give you sort of a map for it. So it's your choice if you'd like to investigate funnels. I personally don't use them because it's very limited in what I can do. So the difference between website and landing pages are that website pages, when you first come into Kajabi, they automatically create all these pages for you. So you don't have to use these, but if you do want to use them, just want to let you know that the difference between these two is that on the website pages, if you change the header or the footer in one of them, then it changes all these pages. As well, you can't duplicate. You see how the duplicate button is not available? So you can't duplicate these pages. The thing about landing pages is that I can create one with a cool header and footer that I like and duplicate it that way over there and then change other things about it. In website, I have no choice with the header and footer that all these are going to have the same header and footer whether I like it or not. If you create a sales page or some sort of opt-in page, perhaps you don't want a navigation menu on there, because the goal of a sales page or navigation or an opt-in page is to get them to opt in or purchase. So you don't want them finding all these other buttons and clicking away. So for that reason, you would probably create your sales pages and opt-in pages over on landing and not on website. So landing, again, all the header and footer are independent of each other. So you can create a header, one way on one page, and then the next one is completely different. So that's the difference. So we're going to go ahead and go to this blank page and edit it. We're going to click this customize button. If you'd like to grab the link, For example, if you already are using a website somewhere else and you want a button over there to come over to Kajabi, you would copy this URL to use over there for that button action. If you'd like to preview this page, that's right here with the eye. If you want to edit the page, that's here with customize. Then these three dots are a few other things, like when we're changing the name of the page and the URL, we'd use this. If you'd like to view analytics, for example, how many people have viewed this page, you can click that. You can duplicate the page. We won't talk about all these other things. As far as update page, you might see after working in here a little while, one that'll say like this, update. That means that Kajabi created some kind of new item for a page. And if you click update, that new feature that they just put out will now be available on this page. So it's your choice if you'd like to keep the page as it is or update to get that brand new feature that just came out. That's it for that. So we're going to go ahead and edit it. Click here and customize. And here we are on the page. And it always defaults with the no header and no footer. I don't know why. So we're actually going to go to the header right here. And you can see in every, well, let me go back. There are different parts to the page. So the header, the middle section called the hero, which is the first part of a page before you scroll down. That's what a hero is called. And then the footer. So those are the three parts, header, footer, and then everything in between. So we're going to go to the header first. When I click there, I'm going to roll down, and there's a desktop layout and a mobile layout. So by default, we are looking at everything on desktop. If I come up here to these buttons, it's different versions of a layout. So mobile is the last one, and this is what a mobile version would look like. So I like to edit everything on desktop, and then once I've finalized a page, check it on mobile and fix anything that needs fixing that way. It's just too tiny to be able to make everything mobile and then go back to desktop. Pretty much everything translates pretty well from desktop to mobile in Kajabi. The things that don't translate well are large lines of text. If I have text all the way from this side of the page to that side, on mobile, sometimes it gets cut off a little bit. So that's one thing. The second thing that sometimes gets cut off is if you have a background picture. For example, a lot of people like to have on their website a picture of them pretty large here on the left, and maybe on the right it'll have the headline of the page. So a header and a subheader and a big picture of you. But when you go to look at it on mobile, it squishes it down and cuts you off on one side. So those are two things that you often have to optimize for. So if you want to get back to the main area of the page, you just use back here. You don't want to use the back button up here. It often could erase something that you've already done. So try to use the internal page. And you know you're on the main area of the page when it says sections and settings. And when I'm inside a section, see this is a section, I'm going to click on it. And now inside the section is a text box and an image box. So we're out. And this may feel kind of overwhelming at the beginning, but I promise you after about a week, you'll feel like this is pretty comfortable as far as navigating how a page works. It's just at the beginning, there's like 100 things to learn, but after a while, you got this. So the first thing I like to do is go into the header and unhide it. So when I click on it and roll down, there's a desktop layout and a mobile layout. I'm going to go to desktop and unhide the header. I'm going to go to mobile and unhide the header. And let's save that. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the same thing with the footer. You can see now suddenly a header has appeared. We'll go to the footer, desktop layout. We're going to unhide it. We're going to go to mobile. We're going to unhide it and save that. And there's a footer down here. So you can see there are three sections to this page now: a header, the middle part, and then the footer. In the middle part, you can have anything you want in here by clicking Add Content, and you can see all these choices of things you can add. So most commonly, you're going to be adding text and images. Perhaps you'll add a video. And you can just see. I don't want to run through all of them. You can come and kind of play around. And the thing to know about a page is that there are 12 columns across. So when I click on this image, so all the viewing takes place on the right, all the editing takes place on the left. So click on this image, see how it pops up on the left. Say I want to edit this text box, I click in the middle of it, it pops up on the left, and that's how you navigate the sections and editing it. And then if I want to go back to where I was at the beginning, I just choose back, and I'm back at sections and settings, and I can see where I'm at. So you add a new section, and there are different choices in here. So let's just say we're going to add text and video. We're going to add that. And then I go back, and now you can see there are two sections inside the middle. We have a header and a footer, and these two sections in the middle. And when you're on this side, you can see each section has a divider. So let me add one more section, maybe a 3-column text. Let me save that. I'm going to go back to sections and settings. And now I have 3 sections on this page. Here's a section, you can see there's a line. Here's a section, there's a line. So you can see how all 3 are different. And the reason why you don't want to make everything in one section is so you can make this have a blue background, and then this section maybe has a white background, and this section has an image. That way, when you visually see the page, it breaks it up a little more by breaking it up into sections. It's just easier to read that way. And what I was mentioning about columns is that each section is 12 columns across. So click on this text box. You could see it's currently 8 columns across. And the image here, I roll up, is 10 columns across. So if it's 12 all the way across, if I make this one a 6, and I click on this image, and I make this one a 6, it makes them side by side. You know, because 6 and 6 are 12, but if I all of a sudden decide to make this image a 7, you can see how it rolls underneath because it's now exceeded the 12 column across thing. But I can come to this text box, make it 5, and now they're side by side again. You get the idea. Now let's say I added some image and text and I have all this padding around it and I'm like, this is too much space between the 2 sections. What I can do is click outside the text box and outside the image, so I'm in the section, and then it pops up that section. And you can see in this section there's a text box and image. I'm going to actually go to desktop layout to mess with the padding. You can see there's desktop section padding, and it defaults at 100 above and below. So it changes to maybe 50. See the padding around it decreased. Let's say I want these to be the same size blocks height-wise. You can see this one's short, this one's tall. I can click equal height blocks, and it automatically makes it so these are equal in size. Let's just say I had a background color. I can choose the background, make it this blue, save, and you can see how they're equal heights. Each block is an equal height. And it really is a matter of coming in and playing around. But the biggest question is usually padding. How do I do the padding? So say I'm going to have more text on this one. See how it's huge and these 2 are small, but this is 4 columns, this is 4 columns, this is 4 columns. And I want them to be the same height. If I click outside here and I choose desktop layout, equal height blocks, and you can see how they all line up. What else you could do is click in the background, and you see background is the choice here. Choose if you'd like to have an image in the background, a video in the background, or you can say none and roll down and choose a color. You can also type in whatever hex code you want over here, like your brand color, or if you already uploaded your brand colors, you can just click it here. Something else you could do, after you have it all looking beautiful, you of course check it on mobile, make sure you like the way it looks. And as far as these ones in the middle, they're kind of like tablets and other things. They're never going to look perfect because, you know, every little gadget they come out with is a different size. It's the same thing for mobile. You can make it beautiful on here, but then pull it up on your phone. You might find it to be a little skewed because mobile phones are wide and they're narrow, and you can't ever make one perfect view. So you're just going to kind of have to do your best and see if you like the way it looks. Same with desktop. There are wide screens and there are narrow screens. It's never going to be perfect. It's just the life of a website. I want this background color of my footer to be my brand color. I just click it, pops up on the left. You can see all the choices here. Let's say I wanted to add social media links is here as well. I just choose add content and I choose social icons. And because they're going to be going to an outside website that I don't want them to leave my website, I'm going to choose for it to open up in a new tab. I'm going to be sure and look at all these and make sure it fits what you're trying to do. And of course, the social media links automatically to default to Kajabi. So if I don't want Facebook, for example, I delete that. You see how it disappears. And I do have a Twitter, so I just paste my link in there. It's as simple as that. So that helps you build your first landing page.